Very wonderful morning to all my dear students of class 10 of both the sections Jasmine and Rose. Once again, Arpita Banerjee Miss is here to welcome you in her English video class. Today, once again, I am with the chapter number 3 from your book First Flight, 2 stories about flying, and today I am supposed to explain to you story 2, that is Black Aeroplane, from this chapter by Fredrick Forsyth. So you follow my explanation of today's class. Don't forget to put your attendance in the comment box. My dear students, you look into chapter number 3 of the book First Flight, 2 stories about flying. Story number 2, Black Aeroplane by Fredrick Forsyth. The first paragraph. The moon was coming up in the east behind me, and stars were shining in the clear sky above me. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I was happy to be alone, high up above the sleeping countryside. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France back to England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch. 1:30 in the morning. What does this first paragraph of page number 37 mean? It was night time, when the sky was clear and the stars could be seen twinkling. The pilot felt peace in being above a country that had fallen asleep while he was flying over France to England. It was 1:30 in the morning and he was fantasizing about holidaying with his family. Students, you look into the second paragraph of page number 37 followed by the third paragraph. I should call Paris Control soon, I thought. As I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane, I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. I switched on the radio and said, Paris Control, Dakota DS-088 here. Can you hear me? I am on my way to England. Over. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS-088. I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. DS-088. Over. What do these 2 paragraphs mean? When the aeroplane was in France, the pilot thought of informing the Paris control personnel about its presence and for instructions. At that time, lights from the Paris city were blaring at him. He informed the control agency, to which they replied with further instruction on directions. The control room at Paris instructed him to turn 12 degrees towards the west. Students, you look into page number 37, the paragraph that begins with I checked the map and the compass, switched over to my second and last fuel tank and turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. I will be in time for breakfast, I thought. A good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. What do these lines mean? After receiving the instructions, the pilot geared up and followed them while putting the last fuel tank into operation. All this time, he was dreaming about his time with his family, and then he started thinking about having a satisfactory breakfast at the destination point. He was calm as everything was going as planned. Look into the next paragraph. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds. Storm clouds. They were huge. They looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. I ought to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. I will take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. What do these lines mean? Now, the plane had crossed Paris when he started looking clouds in the sky. The presence of clouds made it unsafe to travel by air because there were chances of a storm. They were so huge and dark that the pilot compared them with black mountains. He knew he couldn't pass them as it was impossible to go above them or escape them with the amount of fuel that was left in the last tank. The right decision would have been to fly back to Paris safely, but the pilot's decision making was clouded by his wish to meet his family. He so desperately wanted to be with his family and have that English breakfast he had been dreaming of all day that he took the risk of not going back. Thus, he headed the plane right into the storm. Students, you look into the last paragraph of page number 37, which continued in page number 38. Inside the clouds, everything was suddenly black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. I looked at the compass. I couldn't believe my eyes. The compass was turning round and round and round. It was dead. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. I tried the radio. What does this paragraph mean? It was so dark because of the storm that nothing was visible outside the plane. He started losing control of the aeroplane. The compass and other instruments had also stopped working because of the bad weather. He became helpless. Look into page number 38, the very first paragraph. Paris control, Paris control. Can you hear me? There was no answer. The radio was dead too. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. I was lost in the storm. Then, in the black clouds quite near me, I saw another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. I could see the pilot's face turned towards me. I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved. "Follow me," he was saying, "follow me." He knows that I am lost, I thought. He is trying to help me. What do these lines mean? He tried calling the Paris Control Agency who had helped him earlier but couldn't connect because of the weather. In the midst of nowhere, When everything failed, he saw a ray of hope. When he saw another aeroplane, he felt relieved when he saw another pilot's face and willingness to help him escape the storm. He thought to himself that the other pilot is very kind, as he knew that they were lost and was trying to help him. My dear students, you now look into page number 38, the second last paragraph. He turned his aeroplane slowly to the north in front of my Dakota so that it would be easier for me to follow him. I was very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child. Look into the last paragraph of page number 38 that continued in page number 39. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of me in the clouds. Now there was only enough fuel in the old Dakota's last tank to fly for 5 or 10 minutes more. I was starting to feel frightened again, but then he started to go down and I followed through the storm. Look into the very first paragraph of page number 39. Suddenly, I came out of the clouds and saw 2 long straight lines of lights in front of me. It was a runway, an airport. I was safe. I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane, but the sky was empty. There was nothing there. The black aeroplane was gone. I could not see it anywhere. What do these 3 paragraphs mean? The other pilot took his plane ahead of the lost aeroplane to make it easier for them to follow, while the author followed him like an obedient child. He was also panicking because there was very less amount of fuel left. It was only then that he started coming out of the storm and could see the runway to land his plane safely. When he turned to thank the other pilot, he realized that the plane that helped him had disappeared as soon as he came out of the storm. Students, you look into the second paragraph of page number 39. I landed and was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota near the control tower. I went and asked a woman in the control center where I was and who the other pilot was. I wanted to say thank you. She looked at me very strangely and then laughed. Look into the next paragraph of page number 39. Another aeroplane up there in this storm. No other aeroplanes were flying tonight. Yours was the only one I could see on the radar. Look into the last paragraph of page number 39. So who helped me to arrive there safely without a compass or a radio and without any more fuel in my tanks? Who was the pilot on the strange black aeroplane flying in the storm without lights? What do these last 3 paragraphs of page number 39 mean where the story ends? The author did not know where he had landed, but was not afraid of leaving his plane unattended. He headed straight into the control room to ask about the other pilot. To his utmost surprise, the lady informed him that there was no other plane in the sky except his because of the bad weather. He is left astonished with a lot of inquiries or questions unanswered in his mind. So students, with this I am concluding my today's class. I hope you understood both the stories of chapter number 3, 2 stories about flying very well, and still if you have any problem after going through these 2 stories from the chapter number 3, 2 stories about flying, you will surely clear your doubts from me. Am I clear to you, students? So thank you, students, for today, and in my next class I will give you questions from these 2 stories. So get ready with your English copies and pens. So stay safe. Okay? Bye bye, students.